Thursday, everyone. Today is February 13th. Um, let's talk about everything happened on 12th, Wednesday night, where there are a lot of games. The first one is the Pacers barely beat the Washington Wizards in overtime. Obi Toppin popped off with 32 minutes, 31 points, and 10 rebounds and 6 threes. I think he's a guy that we have some streaming value with Miles Turner out. Benedict Mathurin got more minutes than Aaron Nesmith again. He can be a streaming player for sure. And TJ McConnell also played 22 minutes. So these three guys, I think in the short term, they have some streaming value if they got 3 games in 4 nights, right? We know what they do. TJ McConnell if you need assists, Benedict if you need some scoring and some free throws, and Obi Toppin some points, some rebounds, and some threes. This game, Thomas Bryant and Andrew Nembhard, they got fewer minutes. Well, mainly because maybe Nembhard just had some foul trouble. So some of those minutes went to TJ and Benedict. Tyrese Halliburton only played 31 minutes. That's a little bit weird. Did he get hurt? No. He just played 31 minutes in overtime. 20 points, 7 assists, and a steal is okay. While Pascal Siakam had a mediocre game, but it's okay. They got the win over the Wizards. The Wizards, a couple guys that we got to pick up. Bob Carrington, he needs to be rostered. 18 points, 8 rebounds, 4 threes, 5 assists, 2 steals and block. He did pretty much everything. He's not going to do this every single game, obviously, but he needs to be picked up. Jordan Poole also popped off, try to sell high, but, really the only concern is, if he gets hurt and he might miss an extended period of time, but he hasn't really missed a lot of games this year. I would say overall Jordan Poole this season, if you drafted him in the 70s or 80s, I think he's been pretty good. Happy with his production overall this year, and he had a couple of 40-point games, and this game he attempted 15 threes. So with Kyle Kuzma gone, he's been good. And this Wizards team, all these guys, they have good fantasy value. Bilo Coulibaly, he didn't play well here, but again, with Kyle Kuzma gone, he's going to have a lot of minutes. 1 for 8 here, 8 assists. Keyshawn George, another guy. We don't know how many minutes they're going to give to Chris Middleton or if they're going to play him at all. But he's been getting really good minutes, around 30 minutes. And he's a really efficient 3-and-D player. So 9 rebounds as well. That's pretty good with 3 threes. Alex Sarr, if he's on the waiver wire, I would also pick him up. Right, Valanciunas is gone, so they are going to have to play him big minutes, hopefully. But his percentages are pretty rough, and we mainly have him in category leagues for blocks. We know what he is. And I think the Wizards doing the right thing. They're only giving Malcolm Brogdon 15 points. Right, if Chris Middleton ever plays, I think he's also gonna. They shouldn't play him high minutes. Right, there's no point. The next game is the Magic beat the Charlotte Hornets. The Charlotte Hornets, oh boy. Elfrid Payton started, got 31 minutes. Yeah, LaMelo Ball is out, Mitric is out. Sure, we could definitely stream him for some assists if he continues to start. This man got cut. He played 1 game this year, a couple games. I forgot for which team. Is it the Pelicans? There's 1 game he had 21 assists, so he can definitely fill up the stat sheet. Nick Smith Jr., I don't know why he only played 16, and they started Jusuf Nurkic. Why? I'm not sure. Mark Williams is still out. Nurkic, if he continues to start, we could stream him, but that's it. Miles Bridges only 19 points, but without everybody else getting injured, he has good usage. And for the Magic, not much is going on. Banchero and Franz Wagner putting up decent numbers here. Gogo continues to play just 18 minutes, but he's teasing us with his 4 blocks. Yeah, they're not giving him minutes, so I think it's totally fine. I mean, the trend is pretty clear. They're not going to give him 30 minutes with everybody healthy, right? As a matter of fact, they give more minutes. They have been giving more minutes to Wendell Carter Jr. So definitely somebody you could stream for some big man stats. Same thing with Wendell Carter Jr. if you're looking for some rebounds, but not a much roster. While Cole Anthony and Anthony Black continue to share the guard minutes, they're both streaming options as well. The next one is the Spurs lost to the Celtics. The Celtics, we all know they've been struggling. And the Spurs, they're the 12th seed, a 12th seed. With the De'Aaron Fox trade, they're clearly trying to win. They're clearly trying to win, make a push this year. But the West is pretty competitive. The Warriors, they got Jimmy Butler, right? They won a few games, right? Phoenix actually is kind of crumbling right now, but I don't think they can make the playoffs. The Spurs. I mean, they could. The odds are probably not great. Here, De'Aaron Fox had 23 points, 5 assists, while Victor Wembanyama's usage have definitely gone down since the arrival of De'Aaron Fox. But we really just need him to give us those defensive stats. 2 blocks is okay. As a matter of fact, it's way below average. And he only hit 1 3. So a lot of the categories actually, Victor have been impacted by the arrival of De'Aaron Fox. And this might be they just got to figure it out, how they want to use Victor on the offensive end. De'Aaron Fox, yeah. Chris Paul, he still has some value. He played 28 minutes, 8 assists and 4 steals. If you need assists and steals, I don't think we don't need to say anything more. Chris Paul has done it all his career. And Devin Vassell didn't have the best game. Stephon Castle has been, coming off the bench and put up some scoring numbers. He has some stream value. For the Celtics, well, Drew Holiday is still out, so Peyton Pritchard right now still have good minutes, 10 points, 2 threes. He's somebody that we should look to stream in the short term. Sam Hauser, same thing if you're looking for threes. The rest of the Celtics, of course, Jaylen Brown is also out. Jason Tatum played well, but he's no longer in the MVP conversation, right? Kristaps Porzingis really popped off versus Victor Wembanyama, right? So the modern big men, both guys are actually very similar in real life and in fantasy. Derrick White had 3 threes. Derrick White also had an amazing game. Anyway, it's a good win for the Celtics. The next one, this one really wasn't close. The Cleveland Cavaliers beat the Toronto Raptors. Oh my God, we got so many games to go over. Was it like 15 games last night? That's crazy. Cavaliers 131, 108. They're just rolling at the moment. Cavs, actually, the Thunder have caught up. They both have a very similar record at the moment. Darius Garland played 27 minutes, decent line with Donovan Mitchell, and they're just so good. I don't really need to read their lines. Evan Mobley and Jared Allen both kind of did their thing with 2 blocks. Not much is going on with this team. I think DeAndre Hunter, he's not a must roster since the trade. You could definitely stream him for some points and threes if there's a back-to-back. But there's too many guys on this team. For the Toronto Raptors, RJ, how about RJ Barrett? He goes 3 for 7 from the free throw line again. He had 27 points in 28 minutes. If you pounding free throws, I think he's definitely a guy worth having. Otherwise, to be honest, I don't think he's a must roster. I think with the arrival, ever since, because Emmanuel Quickly now is back playing full, I think his usage is just, because there were a period of time, Scotty Barnes and Emmanuel Quickly were both out. So for sure, he's the number 1 option. 3 steals is nice, but, he doesn't really offer too much outside the points. And now, he was averaging like 6 assists. I don't think that's the case any longer as well. With Jonathan, he's a guy that we could definitely stream in the short term. Emmanuel Quickly, he's really up and down. Hopefully, he can just stay healthy. And Scotty, 1 steal and 3 blocks is pretty good. I think he's racking up those defensive stats lately. That's what we want from him. Moving on to the next game. This game is also crazy. 148, 149. The Knicks barely got the win at the Garden, and we all know how Knicks fans feel about Trae Young. So Trae, of course, pops off with 38 points and 19 assists and 4 threes. That's some crazy numbers that we're seeing. Dyson Daniels, the man is amazing. 4 steals, 23 points, 4 assists, 10 for 15, right? I think another underrated part is he has really good field goal. He takes really smart shots. Okongwu also went 9 for 10, 14 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals. Yeah, Okongwu is the must roster. I think he might have, I think he might just be a top 50 player rest of the way. right? Depending on how many blocks he get. If he can average 1.5, right? Because he's a guy that can also hit some threes. Obviously, 3 for 8 from the free throw line is really, really bad. Ricochet had, he's not a must roster. We can, with all the wing guys gone, like we can stream him, but at this point, he doesn't really offer too much outside the points. Caris LeVert, another guy that we could definitely look to stream. Same thing with Georges Niang. I feel like this Hawks and Cavaliers trade, right? I forgot the exact details, but it seems like Hawks gave up better players, Bogdanovich and DeAndre Hunter. I understand they got Ricochet now, so they want to open up some minutes long term. I think that makes sense, but yeah, I don't know if they got picks or anything like that. For the Knicks, Cat played 47 minutes. That's crazy, some crazy numbers. Back-to-back games, he had 42 points just yesterday, the day before. Amazing. He was actually struggling quite a bit. Versus Atlanta Hawks is not exactly the best defensive team. He obviously also went 7 for 10. Great. Same thing with Jalen Brunson with 36 points. Great. Mikal Bridges, 2 steals and 2 blocks. Great. Josh Hart, another amazing game. All these Knicks starters, they are just playing really well at the moment. But the concern is, they need some rest. I think All-Star break would help them. Precious Achiuwa, absolutely must roster at the moment, with OG Anunoby out. But even with this game at overtime, look at how many minutes the rest of the guys played. Tom Thibodeau doesn't give any bench guys any actual, legit minutes, which could definitely be a problem in the playoffs if they get some injuries or they get tired or something. That's it. They're done. Well, speaking of that's it, they're done. The Sixers lost to the Nets, and this is the game you would think the stars aligned for Paul George. Embiid out, Tyrese Maxey out. Guess what? If you bet under on Paul George's point, you're doing very, very well this year. He almost just never hit his over. I don't know. Two steals but in fantasy, this is why at least in category leagues, Paul George has such good value. Even a game like this, 1 for 7, he had 6 rebounds, which is good. 4 assists, I would take it. Right, full category still contributed, 2 steals and 3 blocks. But of course, the field goal, the threes, the points, they're very, very bad. But yeah, I don't know what's going on with Paul George, at least offensively. Quentin Grimes, with everybody out, he came in at 30 points for 3. That's a big game, but I don't know, maybe they started trusting him more after this big game. We'll see. He definitely has some value if he can get 30-plus minutes on this team. Yabusele, of course, with Embiid out. And so if the Sixers can make the playoffs, right, that's it. Embiid, Paul George, they're going to shut them down. Who knows? Same thing with Maxey. We don't know. Maybe they don't shut them down if they're healthy. But Embiid, for sure. So this is the thing. So I would not, if I got an Embiid, I really got to think about if I can get some value back, or depending on where you are on your team. Like if you're the first place team, I think you can maybe have some risks if the Embiid owner, right, is scared. Like you can maybe trade him, let's say a top 50 player for Embiid, right? Because Embiid could just, if they're not competitive, Embiid could just do surgery and that's it. I think that's a real possibility. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. If the Sixers keep losing, that's it. They lost 5 straight. Since Embiid came back, you could argue that they're actually better with Embiid out of the lineup. They have been horrible. This team, it's got to be one of the most disappointing teams. But nope, I guess there's too many other teams, too many things going on, like with the Luka trade. Nobody's really talking about Sixers too much. How disappointing they are as a team this year. Kelly Oubre Jr., yeah, great. I think a lot of young guys on this team, we might, like Justin Edwards, if they're out of the playoffs, right, Quentin Grimes, they could be getting some good minutes and maybe have some fantasy value. For the Brooklyn Nets, same thing. I mean, they're just not giving guys huge minutes. D'Lo, 22 points in 26 minutes is great. Not really much going on. I think Cameron Johnson, he got 32 minutes. That's great. But he's just in and out of the lineup. and even that, like even when he's playing, sometimes he doesn't get the minutes. So he's clearly very good if he gets 30 minutes every single night, right? Really good fantasy player. Claxton, 5 blocks, that's great. 11 rebounds, but also just he played well one game. Next game he gets 20 minutes. The next game, the Miami Heat kept it close, lost to Oklahoma City Thunder 101, 115. So with the arrival of Andrew Wiggins right off the bat, he's coming in playing 34 minutes. That's great. Um, so who does his minutes? So like he's definitely impacting Jovic's minutes a little bit because they kind of play the same position. Terry Rozier is out. So like Novik, he also had 5 personal fouls. So let's monitor his minutes. Like if he doesn't get 30 minutes every night, if sometimes he gets 23, definitely not a must roster. Could definitely stream. So let's pay attention to that. Kel Ware, let's not drop him. I know the minutes have been low, and he's very raw at the moment, but he just have tremendous upside. Even this game, 24 minutes, he had 2 blocks. So don't drop him. Tyler Hero, 14 points. I think maybe with Wiggins, he loses a few usage. This is obviously just a one game, but Wiggins is gonna put up 16, 17 points. So we'll see. Davion Mitchell, I forgot he got traded to this team. Um, okay, if he gets consistent 30 minutes, I think he also has some value for assists and steals, and he's gonna hit some threes as well. Ben Adebayo had a great game with 27 points, 15 rebounds, but just obviously not enough versus the Thunder. They're just such a beast of a team. And Chet Holmgren out, no problem. Isaiah Hartenstein, 2 steals and a block, 8 rebounds. Shea just putting up, goes 6 for 9 from the free throw line, but he's got to keep this up to win the MVP because Jokic is putting up ridiculous numbers. 32 points. Shea's problem is he just doesn't, compared to Jokic, the rebound and assist just, I'm talking about like real life. In fantasy, he's actually really, really good because the defensive stats and free throws. But yeah, the rebound and assist, the playmaking, 9 assists here is very impressive. Jalen Williams, for a little while this season, he's a top 10. That's no longer the case. When he wasn't playing at the center, he's still very, very solid though. Moving on to the next one, the Kings and the Pelicans, 119, 111. The Kings, they're still in the playoff race, right? They won 3 straight. Keon Ellis, how about Keon Ellis? 27 points off the bench, 7 threes, 1 steal and 2 blocks. Yeah, we gotta have him. If he play close to 30 minutes every single night, he's a guy that we gotta have. Malik Monk, 37 minutes. Everything is really good. Just he hasn't really put up. He hasn't had a really good game, but 2 blocks, 4 steals, and 2 blocks, 4 assists, 3 17 points is good enough. Zach LaVine, 23 points, 11 for 11. And DeRozan had an okay game. Sabonis, 5 assists, 2 steals, 16 points. Yeah. For this Kings team, all the starters get all the minutes. So, Keon Ellis is a guy that, okay, we got to pay some attention to if he gets good minutes, but that's it. For the Pelicans, a good Desire is playing. And I think for the rest of the season, Trey Murphy should be a beast. Maybe a top 20 player. Because, now that Brandon Ingram is out of the way. And Trey Murphy is a guy, who knows? You might just pick him off the waiver wire and he become a top 20 player in category leagues. But again, a lot of his value coming from his efficiency. Counting number-wise, he's going to average 20 points and 3 threes probably. And, with good percentages and good defensive stats. But if you can leverage him, if you can trade him for somebody like a LaMelo, right, or do a 2-for-1 for Trae Young, I'm just saying, I'm giving some examples where their ranks don't look that high because of the bad efficiencies. But if your team is not efficient, right, Trey Murphy doesn't actually help you all that much. He still helps you a lot, but not like a top 20 player. Missy played 27 minutes, 9 rebounds, a steal and block is okay. I think he could be rostered. But he's just not putting up eye-popping numbers, but just kind of solid guy, give you consistent rebound and some blocks. Zion Williamson, we're at the top about him. That's good to see him playing. And Jose Alvarado, we got to pick him up. 9 assists, 2 steals, 18 points in 32 minutes. We just have to pick him up. They've been starting him, so. And CJ, who knows if CJ is out, right? Even more minutes for Jose Alvarado. He's obviously not going to do this every game, but He's gonna give you a lot of assists and steals. And not every game they get to play the Kings. If they play some like good defensive team, they might just get blown out a lot. The next one is the Milwaukee Bucks barely beat the Timberwolves 103-101. Yeah, that's crazy that the Bucks actually beat the Timberwolves without Giannis and Dame. Kyle Kuzma, I guess he's the leading guy, third option now. 19 points, 13 rebounds is good, but of course the percentages are rough. Gary Trent Jr. had 21 points off the bench. That's pretty good. Yeah, I mean, with everybody out, Bobby Portis, you would expect him to get a few more minutes, but that's not the case. And Brook Lopez actually didn't even get big minutes. So, oh, wow, Kevin Porter Jr. is on this team. So Doc Rivers now just gave everybody, 25 minutes. And it worked out. They won by 2. But, I don't think there's anybody that we need to be picking up. Because, then I guess Bobby Portis, because Giannis could be out for, I think I saw the news, could be out for like a couple of weeks. But nothing serious. Maybe out until the All-Star break. So actually, yeah, Bobby Portis is somebody we want to pick up with Giannis out. For the Timberwolves, this is a really bad loss. And Anthony Edwards took 33 shots. He goes 4 for 17. I wonder why. He's obviously young, athletic. He could get to the rim. I don't know if he's just lazy, doesn't want to drive, because taking 17 threes is pretty crazy, and only shooting 23%. He's not a good three-point shooter. I'm not saying he's a bad one, but took 17 is kind of crazy. There's a reason you could get off 17 threes. The opposing team is letting you shoot those. 4 threes, 2 steals. I mean, it's other than percentages, it's okay. With Mike Conley out, Nickeil Alexander-Walker is a guy that we could definitely stream. Right, not the best game here, but 5 assists, 5 rebounds. The minutes are good. Rudy had a big one with 14 rebounds and stealing a block, 20 points, but he was a minus 13. And I don't know how long Randall is going to be out, but Naz Reid is doing just a fine job, right? Probably putting up better numbers than Julius Randle. So he's a must roster, and Jaden McDaniels continues to grab. Getting those defensive stats, 3 blocks is no joke, and 2 steals, 2 threes is pretty good. Moving on to the next one, the Detroit Pistons beat the Chicago Bulls 128-110. Wow. The Detroit team is very impressive this year. Kate Cunningham with 29 points. And Oscar Thompson, just look at the minutes. Is more and more now. 7 assists is great. Only 1 steal. I would pick him up if he hasn't been picked up already. Tobias Harris also has been playing a lot better as of late. 19 points here. Jalen Duren added. What a game from Jalen Duren too. I mean, this is versus a bad team, but if he can get against those defensive numbers, that would be huge. We know he can grab a lot of rebounds. We know he's a good field goal guy. And Malik Beasley, he doesn't need a lot of minutes to put up 4 threes and 14 points. That's great. For the Bulls, with Zach LaVine traded, right? Mata seems to be the guy getting the minutes, but also Lonzo Ball has been out, so I don't know, how many minutes they're giving him, but for now he does have some upside, although I haven't seen it yet. So yeah, but at least he's been starting. Kobe White, horrible game. I think with Zach LaVine not on this team, I don't know, right? Opposing teams might really put their best defender on Kobe White, so he could struggle, but still in 2 blocks is good. Josh Giddey, with Zach LaVine gone, he's also been getting good minutes, so happy with that. If I have Josh Giddey. Same thing with Ayu Dosunmu. Like, he's a guy that we should be, honestly, he probably need to be. He's a must roster probably, but the thing is, like, he's kind of boring. He doesn't really offer. There's not one category that jumps out. Maybe he can give you consistent assist, but it's not that much, like 4 or 5. 4, maybe not even 5. Moving on to the next one, we have the Rockets beat the Phoenix Suns. Yeah, Phoenix, they're just, if they don't make the plays, KD is out, man. I don't know his contract, but another great game here with 37 points, 9 assists, and 2 steals. But Booker is out here. Bobo, another great game. He actually got 33 minutes. We know that Bradley Beal Devin Booker, they're both out. I don't think if everybody's playing, he's gonna play 33 minutes. But if you want to pick him up and hope maybe he does, I don't mind it. You don't really have a lot to lose, and he's producing. So 1 steal and 2 blocks. He took 18 shots as well. Nick Richards, I think he's solid enough. 13 rebounds and 2 blocks, and there'll be games he doesn't play 20 minutes. So I don't think he's a must roster because he just doesn't get that many blocks. But solid option. Royce O'Neal hit 4 threes, 14 points. If everybody's out, like, okay, he has some streaming value. Same thing with Tyus Jones. With everybody out, he got a few extra shots, but he's not doing too much with it, too much with the opportunity. Oh, actually, I thought Mičić is still with. So maybe, to be honest, like if LaMelo Ball is out, like Elfrid Payton is the guy that we should have because Mičić got traded to the Suns. For the Rockets, Amen Thompson, 41 minutes. Amazing. Triple-double. These Thompson brothers, they're for real. 11 assists too, crazy. Jalen Green, 22 points. They don't need Fred VanVleet. Just this lineup, the defense, they have crazy defense. Emperor Shangu also put up a really good game, right? Did everything, 13 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, but his free throw issues he has a pretty big free throw issue. He's shooting low 70s on high volume. That's gonna hurt your free throw. Dylan Brooks, 18 points, 2 steals, and 4 threes. That seems good. And Taro Eason, of course, he's a must roster if he continues to start. The next game, the Lakers, well, they lost. The Jazz put up 131 points on them. Luka played just 23 minutes with 5 fouls. Luka will be fine. If you can buy low on Luka, maybe the Luka owner is frustrated. I don't know. This could go on for like a month. I don't know. It's just going to take some time for him to really, get going, I think. Find his role on this team. Like Austin Reeves also struggled 4 for 15 here. He did have 11 assists. So I think with Luka here, like Austin Reeves obviously going to lose a lot of points maybe, but the assists could go up. That could be, he goes 1 for 10 here. Jackson Hayes, for whatever reason, only played 7 minutes because they got Alex Lang. So let's monitor Alex minutes. If he gets consistent 28 minutes, then maybe he has some value, at least some streaming value. LeBron 18.7 assists, 6 rebounds, and 4 threes. That's okay. I think everybody's just trying to get Luka fit in. So I think LeBron and Austin Reeves' production they're gonna dip a little bit for sure. And Rui Hachimura hit 3 threes. That's good. For the Jazz, Isaiah Collier, he's just been so good, to be honest with you. 10 points. He's been starting 10 points. He grabbed 7 rebounds. That's also great. And 9 assists. He's an absolutely must roster. Keontae George came off. I would argue that Keontae actually has been playing a lot better since he came off the bench. The minutes is still great. 20 points, 10 assists, 3 threes. So let's if he's on the waiver wire, let's go pick him up. Jordan Clarkson have some streaming value, but he's going to be in and out of the lineup. And what a game from Walker Kessler. 2 steals and 6 blocks, 8 for 8. I think they're resting him on the back-to-backs, which is fine. He's putting up amazing numbers in the last week or so. Everybody kind of played well on this Jazz team versus this Lakers. John Collins, you're just happy whenever he plays, right? Another super efficient game with 2 blocks, and Lauri Markkanen was a plus 35. He couldn't miss. I guess he missed a bunch of shots, but 6 threes, 32 points, 3 steals. His best game in a while. The next one, the Denver Nuggets. Jamal Murray goes for 50. 130 to 121. Yeah, if Jamal Murray is playing at this level, Denver is going to be good. Denver right now is the 3rd seed. They won 8 straight. They're making a run for the 2nd seed. They're not going to catch OKC, but yeah, getting the 2nd seed for Denver will be huge. And, they're kind of underrated, to be honest with you. I will check their championship odds, right? The West is wide open. Even though OKC have the number 1 record right now, I could argue that, hey, they can definitely beat Thunder. Even though if Thunder have home court advantage, they can definitely beat Thunder. Because they have the best player, Jokic. And if Jamal Murray can, Oh, for the Portland, we gotta pick up Donovan. DeAndre Ayton is out for weeks. We have to pick him. 20 rebound is crazy. 3 blocks. Yeah, he could be a top 10 player in category leagues. Yeah, he could average. Depending on how many minutes they get. I mean, obviously this game they have Jokic. There'll be some nights the Blazers decided to go a little bit smaller, but yeah, absolutely must roster. Come on, guys. 3 blocks and 20 rebounds. He has tremendous upside, kind of like a Hassan Whiteside situation a couple years back. If you guys remember who Hassan Whiteside is, I think 1 year he was 7th ranked player in the NBA because he was out blocking like 3.5 shots. If Donovan gets 35 minutes every night, he could do that too. To be honest, Fernie Simons 38 minutes, pretty good game with 26 points, 6 assists, and they were talking about trading him. I mean, the minutes is great here because not Colin Sexton, School Henderson was out here. But the minutes, to be honest, like I completely forgot that Chris Murray is on this team. I completely forgot. I don't. I think he was coming off the bench, maybe. But Jeremy Grant was out here, a bunch of other guys. So, Kamara, he's been getting consistent minutes. Danny Advia played 28. So I think the rotation, like you have Benton played 31 minutes here, Shaden Sharp playing 30. They just have a lot of guards and wings, and it's just hard to figure out the minutes what Billups gonna do, to be honest. But he really likes Kamara, which is fair. He's been playing really well, so a really good 3-and-D guy. For Denver, yeah, Jamal Murray goes for 50, 36 points, 55 points actually. And Jokic, he's more than happy setting up Jamal Murray. And if you're in a pick and roll situation if you're a guard, Jokic just opened up so many things for you. So great. Jokic, of course, he got his too, a triple double. Christian Braun played 45 minutes. I don't know why this team didn't go overtime. Oh yeah, because a lot of guys were out. Aaron Gordon, Michael Porter Jr. has been out for a while. So yeah, this Zeke Najee played 37 minutes. Julian played 25. I think because this Denver team is not that deep. So when the playoff come around, if Julian can give them some quality minutes off the bench, that could be huge for this Denver team. I'm surprised they didn't make some big moves at the trade deadline. Try to get more than 3-and-D guys. The next game is the Warriors barely lost to the Mavs, but I think that the Jimmy Butler trade really give this Warriors team new life because I think they believe they can compete. Steph Curry didn't shoot the ball well, but 25 points, 8 assists, 2 steals, and 4 threes is okay. Buddy Hield, even though he didn't play well, I would say he's a must roster. Draymond and Jimmy Butler both. Draymond, a big game here with 5 assists, 3 steals, and blocks. And Jimmy Butler, I think with this trade, help his fantasy tremendously. If he can stay healthy, I think I still look at him as like a top 20, top 25-ish type of player because he's just so good in fantasy. A lot of free throws and a lot of defensive stats. And then probably 5-6 assists on this Warriors team. He doesn't score a lot of points. You don't need him. He's going to score like 17, 18. That's fine. But 6 rebounds, 5 assists with really good percentages. And of course, he doesn't shoot that many threes. For the Dallas Mavericks, of course, we don't have AD for a couple weeks. And how about Kessler Edwards? I think he's somebody we should look at because everybody is out. PJ Washington is out, right? Kyrie Irving, of course, he's taking on the huge burden offensively. 42 points, 7 threes, that's great. And how about Max Christie? We got to have, I think he's also a must roster with all the injuries. Clay hit 5 threes, sure. And RJ Marshall also has some streaming value. Same thing with Spencer Dinwiddie. They just have a lot of injuries. A really good win for them at home, though. Because the Mavericks, they're clearly trying to compete. And with all the injuries, with AD out, right, before you know it, this is actually a huge game because with this win, they're only 1.5 games ahead of the Warriors. So they could also, if they lose 5 games straight, they could be out of the playoffs. The next game is the Clippers. Of course, they got Kawhi back. That's great. Another kind of dangerous team, I would say, in the playoffs. Because if Kawhi is fully healthy, when was the last time Kawhi played the whole playoff run? Kawhi Leonard fully healthy is still very scary. And then, of course, they got a couple other pieces. Um, they could maybe have some upside. I don't know if they can go all the way, but you know, you don't want to play them. This is why the West, you just don't know. Even if you're Oklahoma City Thunder, I don't think the odds right now saying they're by far the favorite. Like to get out of the East, it's just so much easier. Because Thunder, right? You could in a situation in the first round you play the Warriors, in the second round you play the Lakers, and then you play some team like Nuggets in the third round. A lot of like old veteran teams that you just don't know. The Grizzlies, yep, they lost to the Clippers. Yeah, Zach Edey, I don't think he's a must roster. Just 20 minutes here. Luke Kennard, every time John Moran is out, he's a streamer for sure. He got 31 minutes. Scottie Pippen only gets 16 though. Desmond Bain, 23 points, 6 threes is great. And Jared Jackson Jr. has some foul trouble. Yeah, they kind of struggled versus this Clippers team. And that's another thing. Like, even though the Grizzlies, they're the second seed, if you play the Clippers in the first round, you don't know. You don't know what's going to happen. If you play the Warriors in the first round, you don't know what's going to happen. For the Clippers, Kawhi Leonard, good to see him play over 30 minutes. He's going to be really good rest of the way. So if you held him, congrats. But he's just going to miss a lot of games, all the back-to-back pretty much. And this could be Clippers' strategy moving forward. I mean, I don't know how many years Kawhi got, but maybe he's just out beginning of the season for like 2 months because he can't play for the full season. Harden is carrying the load, and he's been healthy. I don't think he's missed that many games. 10 assists is great, 18 points, and Norman Powell continues to play well, 18 points. And Zubac, of course, added 13 rebound, 3 steals. Yeah, all the Clippers started to play really well. And I will pay attention to Bogdanovich, monitor his minutes, because the Clippers could definitely use another guy that came off the bench and whether it be a shooter or facilitate a little bit. If he gets consistent 25, he can be that 6th man, right? Getting 28 minutes a night, he could have some good value. So I'll be monitoring his minutes, and I'll pick him up if that happens. That's it, guys. This is such a long video. All right, see you guys.